Hi, my name is Stephanie and I'm a big fan of all things music, movies, physical media and pop culture. And today I wanted to show some of the things that I have added to my collections in the last few months. So in my last video, I covered all of the new movies, so the DVDs and Blu-rays that I've added to my collection in the last little while, and there were a lot of them. So I decided to split the rest of this into like a part 2 situation. I'll put the link to my previous video down below if you want to see that. I am someone that collects all sorts of things, whether it's vinyl, CD, DVDs, Blu-rays, magazines, books, all sorts of things. It's whatever calls out to me at a certain time, or when things come out, or when I find certain things that I'm after. I kind of go out and buy what I know is either hard to find or what is on my mind and what I want to listen to or watch at a certain time. And when new releases come out, I like to buy it straight away. All of these things that I will show you, and all of the things like in my collection, the things you can see and the things that are around me, all have a story, and I think that's really special when buying things. So I'm very excited to show what I've added to my collection. I just wanted to say as well, these movies get moved around. These ones are not like in an order. These are like recent buys, as in the last year or so, and they get moved around. I have like stacks of movies here that haven't fit into the rest of my collection properly. As you can see, I do color coding, and just because it's fun, like you can do what you want with your own collection. Like next to me in the spot you can't see are heaps more, and this took forever to do. And anything that I've added recently, it being stacked sideways, it doesn't stay that way because it gets moved around, because I know sometimes people get worried about seeing things that are like vertical, and I just want to say that they do get moved around. I'm very careful with my things, and as you should be too, because obviously when you spend money on things you want it to be maintained in the best way possible and not ruined. And so I just wanted to let everyone know that it's all good. We'll start with the music things that I've added to my collection, and we can start with all of the vinyl that I bought. So in terms of vinyl, I bought a few different things. I'm very picky when it comes to buying vinyl because I don't listen to vinyl that much. I mainly listen to CDs. However, because I enjoy collecting things and I enjoy many artists and I know what to look for, I added certain things to my vinyl collection. I love a 7-inch and 12-inch single, and I love many artists. So these are the artists and singles that I bought. So I bought the Rolling Stones' Miss You. Faraway Eyes is the B-side, and I'm a big fan now of buying 7-inch singles and 12-inch singles that have pictures rather than just the ones without. The next one is the Justify My Love 7-inch single by Madonna, and the B-side is Express Yourself. The next one is Pop Life by Prince, and the B-side is Hello. And Prince is probably the only artist that anytime I find anything Prince related I will buy. I have a few artists like that, but because Prince is my like ultimate artist and like my favorite artist of all time, anything Prince related I will buy and add to my collection. And then of course, speaking of Prince, we have the Get Off 7-inch single, which is one of my favorite Prince songs of all time, and I would love to get the Get Off EP on CD because I love it so much. Next are the two 12-inch singles that I bought, and the first is the Japanese release of Careless Whisper by Wham, featuring George Michael, even though it is like a George Michael song. And this is so cool. It's got the obi strip because it is Japanese. Different versions of Careless Whisper on it, which is so cool. And then the last 12-inch single that I bought is Prince, and this I'd never seen out and about before, and this is the I Hate You 12-inch single. This is from the Gold Experience album, and there's all these versions of I Hate You on it, and I love this artwork. I was so excited when I found this. And while we're talking about music, these are the CDs that I have accumulated in the last little while. I have a stack sitting here. The first album is The Best of Sade. Obviously this is a Sade album. A lot of my friends were listening to Sade and then I just like was picking up on it, and I was watching some of her live concert somewhere and it was really cool, and that convinced me to buy this. And then based on that as well, I've been seeing some music videos and stuff on the Australian TV program Rage. If you're Australian, you know about Rage, but there was some music videos on the other night and I was like, oh, I'm so glad that I have this. And I listened to this album the other day for the first time, like from beginning to end, and it was awesome. Next is the Jacksons live album. I love this album. It is so good. I wish there were more live Michael Jackson albums, and I want to get my hands on the Bad Wembley tour CD. I think it came in Bad 25, and I just love the energy with these songs and how good it sounds live, and this track list is so good. I love live albums. The next CD is the La La Land score. I bought the La La Land CD as soon as I saw La La Land in early 2017 when it was in the cinema, and I've always wanted this and I found it relatively recently and I was like, you know what, maybe now is the time to get this. So I love this score. I love this movie. It's extremely special to me, and I love movie scores because you can just put them on and they're just very special to listen to. The next CD is Disintegration by The Cure. This is the first album that I listened to this year. I listened to it like on streaming, and as soon as I heard it I was like, I'm gonna buy this. And the reason why I listened to it like that was because I was doing these like album listening parties for myself where I like was forcing myself to like listen to full studio albums, because obviously I'm a fan of The Cure but I haven't heard like a studio album. Since then I've heard more of them and bought more, but I have like the Best of The Cure on CD. I've had it for years and I was like, I want to hear more album tracks of like the artists that I love, and songs like Closed Down and Pictures of You are on this album and I just really love it. Next is another addition to my Prince collection, and it is the Sexy MF CD single. This song comes from the Love Symbol album, and the two other tracks on it are Strollin' and Daddy Pop, which come from the Diamonds and Pearls album. And when I saw this, obviously I have to buy it because I buy anything Prince related. Next is Patience by George Michael. I have majority of George Michael's albums. I need to get more Wham albums. I have a couple, but I obviously have Faith and Listen Without Prejudice and Ladies and Gentlemen, The Very Best of George Michael, and I also have Older. But I love this album. Amazing's on this album, Freaks on this album, Flawless, Go to the City's on this album, all those big songs, but the album songs are great as well, and it's George Michael and he's a genius, so of course I added this. Next is Introducing the Hard Line according to Terence Trent D'Arby. Obviously Terence Trent D'Arby has changed his name since, but the two big songs of this album I love, and I was in like a rare like record CD shop and this was on my mind and I found it, and I still have to listen to it from beginning to end, but I love the songs that I know from this album. Dance Little Sister and Sign Your Name. Next is Goat's Head Soup by the Rolling Stones. I hadn't heard this album from beginning to end until I bought it, but two of my favorite Rolling Stone songs are on it, and that's Star Star and Angie. And then I really got into Coming Down Again and Can You Hear the Music. Those ones really stood out to me, but again, I'm a massive fan and this was another instance of me being like, I'm gonna listen to more albums and pick up on more album tracks, and I really enjoyed this album. Next is Japanese Whispers by The Cure. I bought this one instead of like all the other ones. I will get to them, but I just like loved the album artwork. I thought it was very interesting, and it's like got the track list on the front. Very fun. Anyway, I've listened to this album. It's a very short listen, and yeah, Let's Go to Bed's on it, and The Walk, and The Love Cats is on it, and yeah, The Cure is great. Next is You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love by Olivia Rodrigo. This album came out in June and I bought it release day, and then I listened to it and I loved it. This album I think is one of my favorites of this year so far. I just think it's a great pop album, and her songwriting and just everything about this album just works so well. And I love it. I think it's great. And it's another instance of like, I love having a story attached with buying albums. Like, I have my own personal stories with all of these, but this one, I love the idea of buying it the day it came out and being excited for it, because I was. And yeah, now just having it. Next is another copy of Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally by Harry Styles. Again, this is another one of my favorite albums of the year. This came out in March. I have like 4 copies of it now, I think, because this was gifted to me, and I'm happy to own it again because I enjoy having that story that came with it being gifted to me. And yeah, I love this album and the artwork, and I'm very excited to see Harry Styles at the end of the year. I'm gonna see him like 6 times in Australia. I'm keen. Next is, I'm gonna read this out, The Secret Life of the Love Song and Flesh Made Word, and they're 2 lectures by Nick Cave, and Nick Cave's one of my favorite artists of all time. I've seen him 5 times all up so far. I saw him twice at the start of the year. I found this at a record shop like a month ago, and I'd heard him do the first lecture, and it's him talking about love songs, and I remember him talking about Kylie Minogue's song Better the Devil You Know, and talk about how dark the lyrics are but how lively it is with Kylie singing it. And Nick Cave is just one of those people that when he talks I listen and I'm intrigued by his thoughts, and I get the emails of the Red Hand files that he does, and I love to read them when they come through. And I remember reading some of these lectures, but I'm yet to like listen to both of them, and I think there's some songs on it. I love these songs. Sad Waters is on it, which is one of my favorite songs. Next is Lost Weekend by Phoebe Bridgers, and at the time of filming this, I haven't heard this album yet. I did buy it on release date, but I love the album artwork and everything going on. It's so cool. I'm a big fan of Phoebe Bridgers' music, and I have Stranger in the Alps on CD and Punisher, and also the Boy Genius album. And yeah, I'm keen to actually like sit and listen to this album properly. I'm excited. Next is Confessions 2 by Madonna. This album came out a month ago maybe now. I was very excited for it, and I think it is great, and it is so cool. It flows from beginning to end. It's like a DJ set. It is so fun. This is one of my favorite albums of the year as well. Next is Pedal by Ariana Grande. This album came out nearly a month ago as well. And I bought this on release date, but I'm yet to listen to it. I want to listen to albums properly, and I did buy it release date like I said, but I just haven't had a chance to fully listen and immerse myself, but I'm excited. Next is another classic album. It's Like a Prayer by Madonna, and this is an album that I love. Obviously there's massive songs on this album like a Prayer and Cherish, and I remember listening to this for the first time years ago and just loving Love Song and Act of Contrition as well. And the next CD is the Daydreamers EP. It's a great EP, it's a great bunch of songs, and they're amazing live, and so I was very happy to add this to my collection. The last CD in this pile is Music Fashion Film by Charlie XCX. I bought this on release date as well. I just think this is a fun album. Next we have zines. I've been getting into zines lately. I think it's really cool, and I've been like shopping for them and looking at different things. And the reason why I own these 2, we've got Frocket over here and Aura magazine over here, is because I'm in it. So here's some photos of me that my friend took, and they're in this zine. They're in Frocket. And then on this page over here are the photos that my friend and I put together, and we ended up in this zine as well. The zines are really important because they really help creative people and give them an outlet, and it's important to like buy them and support them. And these are so fun to read through. There's so many fun like articles and photos and all sorts of things. It's so cool, and it's so fun to have because when you buy something you have it forever if you look after it. Next we have magazines, and I have a few here in this pile, which is good. The first magazine is The Face. This is from 1991. It's got Matt Dillon on the cover, and I found it at a like an old magazine store. There was like lots of Playboy and The Face and music magazines and a couple interview magazines, things like that, and it was really cool. And this one just stood out. And obviously I'm a fan of Matt Dillon, and then I saw that he was being interviewed by Bret Easton Ellis, which is cool. And then there was something here, Styles Who Paint, we turn art critics loose on Sly Stone, the Stone Roses, and David Lynch. And this is also another reason why buying magazines now is important, because it's an archive and you can hold it and you can look at articles like this in your hand, and owning it is important, because if it lives on the internet, it has the potential to like get lost. And it's so important to own these things and to have them in your collections and in your lives and to appreciate these things. So now on to like new magazines. Here is British Vogue with Olivia Rodrigo on the cover. I'm yet to read this article. The photos are really fun though, and I just love magazines. They're so cool. Next is Harper's Bazaar with Anne Hathaway. I bought both of these magazines right after I saw The Odyssey in the cinema, and I just enjoy that aspect of the story where I was like, you know, having a great time. There she is. These photos are really fun as well. These blues are really nice. So there's that. Next is a running magazine that I bought because Harry Styles was being interviewed by Haruki Murakami, the author, and I'm a fan of his work. I read Norwegian Wood and I'm halfway through the Wind Up Bird Chronicles. I have been on that book for like 3 years. I've read like half of it, I think. It's like this big. Anyway, but the photos in this article are really fun. And the interview's about running and creativity, and it's really cool. And I bought it at the airport, and I remember reading it in my hotel room, and I enjoy that story. And then next is Olivia Rodrigo on the cover of Dazed and Confused. This magazine is huge and the photos are awesome for her article, but then for the other things in it as well. I think the last thing that I'll show that I've recently added to my collection is this Japanese Purple Rain film program, which is awesome. I obviously am a massive fan of Prince. I've said it a million times, but when I knew about this, I was like fixated on getting it, and then I did, and this is just awesome. Like all of my favorite things in one. But knowing that more Japanese film programs exist means that I want to get more. So I love this. It's in really good condition, and yeah, this is a win. So I think that's sort of everything that I've recently added to my collections in the last few months. I'm planning on getting more, obviously. There's lots of movies and albums and things coming out, and with all these magazines and things, I've got a list going of new release movies, music, and magazines that I'm waiting for to come to Australia. And I'm very excited because it's all lots of fun and they're all things that I really care about. Thank you for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you've been buying and watching and everything. I like to see and add to my lists, and I will see you in the next video.